All right, hello and welcome to another coaching session. Today we are going to be hearing from Rochelle Radcliffe from KeHE, and she is just going to be talking through KeHE and its history and programs that could fit for you. So while she is getting started and I'm teeing her up, please put your name of your company, your region, and your category into the chat just so that way she kind of gets an idea of who you are. And as usual, please feel free to put questions in the chat or raise your hand. If you raise your hand and come off mute, we will call on you first. So just make sure to keep that in mind. And with that, Rochelle, I'm so glad that you are here. Thank you so much for spending some time with us to chat through KeHE and what it would look like to work with you. So take it away.
Thank you so much, Christy and team, for having me. Really excited to be here. My name is Rochelle Radcliffe. I lead our supplier experience team here at KeHE. I joined KeHE 15 years ago now, and you'll see on the quick history slide, there's been a lot of changes since 2010. So I'm really excited to share more about who we are and how we work and support our supplier community, and a few opportunities we have coming up that I'm happy to share with you. So let's kick in to the agenda. So I'll go through a short KeHE overview, then I'll talk to our passion for innovation, and then we'll wrap up with different supplier support initiatives that we have going on through my team, and some resources and exciting new technology that we have coming out shortly to support our supplier community and ease of doing business. All right, so starting with KeHE overview, I have to start with our strategy. So every 5 years, KeHE releases our strategic plan. And so our Food First strategy was released in 2023. And that's really around like 3 strategic objectives. First is our operational excellence. So it's really strengthening the things that we do every day, more efficient warehouses, optimized inventory management, and then a constant focus on improvement, continuous improvement in that area. Under growth, growing the good with revitalized fresh offerings. With the DPI integration a couple years ago, it really expanded our fresh and our capabilities. We have cut and wrap facilities. That's just one example. So huge focus on fresh for KeHE. And then partner success. This strategic pillar is near and dear to my heart. Making it easy for our suppliers and retailer partners to work with KeHE and really driving differentiation with innovative products and services. And then, of course, the backbone of KeHE is our culture, and it really enables KeHE and its people to be a force for good in the world. We are a B Corp certified company. We have our KeHE Cares, and we donate 10% of our profits to those less fortunate. So there's always mission trips going on at KeHE, and it's just a really ingrained part of our culture is giving back. All right, so moving into our timeline in KeHE history. So KeHE started over 70 years ago by Art KeHE. He was actually an independent retailer who saw a need in the market to better serve store owners. So he started KeHE out of his garage, honestly, and we've just kind of grown and expanded from there. In 2000, we became an employee-owned company, so we are ESOP. In 2010, when I started, that was the year we acquired Tree of Life. And then from there, we acquired Nature's Best in 2014, and then Monterey Provisions in 2016. And then 2023 was a really big year for us. Deb Conklin joined as president and CEO, and we finalized our purchase of DPI Specialty Foods. Like I just mentioned, really expanded KeHE's fresh marketplace offerings. So now our distribution network, we work with over 33,000 retail stores. We serve grocery, e-commerce, and convenience across the US. In North America, we have 19 distribution centers. 4 of those are in Canada, and the remainder are in the US. The Tualatin and Ontario, California warehouse were previous DPI warehouses. So we kept those 2 facilities and expanded, and we grew by 2 in our US distribution. Currently, we have over 7.5 million square feet of warehouse space, and we're 9.5 billion plus in revenue, and we sell 87,000 unique SKUs, 8,000 brands. I think last I checked, we work with over 6,000 suppliers. And we do have an integrated delivery, so frozen, dairy, fresh, and dry, all in one truck. So at KeHE, we break out our retailers and customers into 5 different channels. So chain natural is 32% of our business, and that consists of some examples: Sprouts, Fresh Time, Mom's Organic Market, Town and Country, and Erewhon. Chain grocery, Albertsons, Safeway, Publix, Walmart, Kroger, and Target. Independents, we work with over 6,000 independent locations across the US. So Key Food, we just announced our partnership with them. So that's very exciting. Infra has been a long time partner of ours. NCG, Woodman's, a lot of examples there. We have independents that pull from out of our 15 US distribution centers. We have decent independent business out of probably like 12 of them. So a lot of independent opportunity through KeHE. Alternate channel is a space that we've been growing significantly. So think Amazon, CVS, Total Wine and More. We just announced that expansion with them. And DoorDash and OTG. So those are just some examples of alternate channel, but that's really a place that we're growing in and really excited about. It's unique relationships, and so it's exciting to see the expansion there. And then regional, so Smart and Final, which was a DPI account, Save Mart, Price Chopper, Meyer, HEB. So a lot of great regional accounts that have about 20% of our business. All right, I'm going to move into passion for innovation. So our innovation strategy and category strategy expertise is something that we're very passionate about. Starting on the expertise side on the left, we have 56 category team members at KeHE. And so, they are constantly looking for new suppliers to add to our assortment. They're constantly researching trends and, attending different trade shows and, going to farmers markets and doing all the things. And so they are experts at their category. It's pretty amazing, everything that they do for their category reviews and how they really define their roles and the brand strategy within their portfolio. We also have our growth solutions team, which I think of them as our retailer facing category team. And so basically they take like our category managers like national strategy and they will customize it to a specific retailer project that they're working on. And they use syndicated and they layer in syndicated and panel data. So Circana, Spins, IRI, and they also do like demographic clustering. And so they'll make recommendations on new brands to add for a specific category review that they're doing. And so it's very customized. So it's a really great partnership. They're also on the merchandising team. So we're all on the same team under the same umbrella. So there's a lot of great recommendations and that happen through that organization at KeHE. We also we use Mintel for global market research. and just a lot of industry involvement, speaking engagements. I think we actually have somebody doing a speaking engagement this week. And so there's always something that's getting announced. So it's really great. We just released our macro trends for 2026. So I believe the macro trends are what's getting presented on. Moving into forage. So my team does a lot of support alongside the category team on hosting what we call trend finder events. So we host 3 events. I do have a slide on this and a way to register for our upcoming event in February later on in the presentation. But they're kind of like 20, 30-minute like speed dating sessions between potential new suppliers and our category management team. So we discover a lot of amazing brands through those sourcing events. We also host farmers market tours each year. So there should be a social media campaign that covers this year's farmers market tour. We're wrapping up the video with marketing. So that's really exciting. Of course, we attend domestic trade shows. We also have a huge international expansion initiative. So I think this upcoming year, I think we're attending 7 different international events to start that foraging and discover products that are launching all over the world. We also work with Range Me on different sourcing campaigns and also do presentations with different incubators and accelerators all the time. So curate, how do we approve them? I'll go more into our innovation scorecard, but these are basically the 7 biggest things that our category management team is thinking about when they're meeting with a potential new supplier. I mentioned our macro trends. We have 6 of them getting released for 2026. But our teams are always like staying on top of consumer insights, shopper behavior, and really defining what their categories' roles are and the brands that we carry and the strategy that they play within those roles. And then finally, cultivate. I have quite a bit on this section further along in the presentation as well, but we have quite a few programs. We have our new and emerging brand program called KeHE Elevate. We have our care trade program, diverse trade. We offer a service called roadmap planning, which I'll go more into. We offer a great a suite of reporting and dashboards that allow our supplier partners to really dive into the data and identify opportunities. And then we host new supplier summits throughout the year, and we also have our brand scorecard. So that's a little bit more on our category strategy expertise. All right, and then moving into our innovation scorecard. So these are the 7 factors that our category management team thinks about when they're meeting with suppliers. I'm not going to go into all of these in a ton of detail, but obviously we're looking at ingredients, innovation. Is this brand disrupting the category, bringing something completely new and exciting? Taste is obviously important. And then, HBC would be more like the scent and the texture, different things like that. Pricing promotions is very important. Pricing has to be in line. Trade spend is very important, just to really making sure that brands are able to invest and promote and attend shows and really scale with our retail partners. Packaging is, of course, important. The people behind the brand, whether they have broker representation, the connections, the capital to really grow the brand, and then purpose-driven, very important to us, sustainability, transparency, recyclable, mission-based, minority or women-owned. So each of these factors are weighted on differently and scored on a scale of 1 to 5. So that's just kind of how our category management team thinks about it. But then obviously each category is so unique in and of itself. So there's a lot of other things that a category manager would think about when making a decision to move forward with a supplier partner. I mentioned our trend finder events. Like I said, they're kind of like speed dating events between a potential supplier and our category team. We host 3 events each year, they're virtual events. We have done some live events at Expo West before as well. We've probably just, oh, yeah, it's on here. It's a little old. So 300, I think we're probably up near 400 new suppliers through these events. So they're very successful. Our category management team like loves them. They'll cram in like 50 to 100 meetings like within a couple week time frame. So it's a busy time of year for them, but they love meeting with new suppliers. We also hand out golden tickets. So if a CM is kind of thinking about that innovation scorecard that I just talked about, and they're just kind of blown away, they'll hand out golden tickets to the supplier, and we'll do a big social media campaign, and we'll tag the brands in the post. And we offer them our new at KeHE, which is our new item launch to our independent channel. So we cover that for them. So they kind of get a little prize for receiving a golden ticket. So they're really exciting. And our sales team we put a whole deck together for our sales team, and we put it out in our commercial newsletter just to kind of get our sales team excited about some new brands that they're going to see in our portfolio and available to them soon. All right, moving into our supplier programs. So these are managed through my team. So we have Elevate, Diverse Trade, and Care Trade. Elevate was launched, I can't believe it. It's been 5 years ago now. We launched it right before our summer show 5 years ago, which is just 2 months shy of 5 years. So this is really exciting. It's our 2-year emerging brands program. We offer a lot of high touch, a lot of support financially, and just a lot of visibility to these suppliers. Our category managers select those suppliers they want in their program on their desk, and they're always thinking about that. Basically the innovation scorecard, every single factor there is kind of the top score, the highest score that they can get. And suppliers can be added anytime throughout the year. So there's not like a single month where we'll add like a whole new group of suppliers. It's very fluid. We have suppliers that reach their 2-year mark, and so we'll graduate out of the program. So I think last time we looked, the package for Elevate it's worth about $65,000. So we're really investing in these brands. We really believe in them. And it's, last time I checked, they're probably growing 40% faster than an average new supplier with KeHE. So I'm very excited with how the Elevate program continues to evolve and just perform, and our sales team, gets behind the brands in the program. We also have our diverse trade program, and this allows us to support women-owned, minority-owned, LGBTQ plus owned, disability or veteran-owned suppliers. And they do get financial assistance as a new diverse trade supplier up to 2 years. I think we have 400 plus suppliers in the program now. And basically a supplier is added each May if they have their certification on file with us. And then Care Trade is our mission-based brands program that allows us to align with suppliers dedicated to the relief of human suffering and serving to make lives better. So it's a really small, intimate program. It's 2 years, and 5 suppliers are onboarded each year, and 5 suppliers are graduated out of the program each year. There is a financial support component to that program as well. And it's, like I said, it's very small, intimate, just a ton of visibility and support that we give to all suppliers in these programs. And let's see, I think we just finished our new round. We're about to announce them for 2026 coming up here within the next month or so. And then I also wanted to mention our administrative allowance program called AAP. So about a year ago, we launched AAP to really invest in new and small suppliers. We understand that forecasting spend is really one of the biggest hurdles for a supplier, launching into distribution. And so we're really trying to foster their growth and gaining that distribution, and also support, that strategic plan, that pillar of our strategic plan to, make it easier to work with us and also lessen the cost of doing business with KeHE. So what the program is, a supplier can opt in to AAP during their onboarding with us. And what they would offer is a 2% flat rate rather than getting these 5 fees that are listed here on the slide. So the 2% is much lower than an actual new and small supplier would spend for these 5 things. So within the first year, we've invested over $1 million in suppliers in our AAP program. We have over 300 suppliers in the program at this time. All right, and then moving into supplier support and resources. So this is really a lot of what my team is responsible for. We've came a long way. We've had a lot of great support from our IT partners on making improvements as well. But we host webinars throughout the year on topics that suppliers tell us they want to learn more about, they want to hear more about. We work with cross-functional departments and putting great content together. We also host new supplier summits. So those are hosted in April and October each year. And they're an hour and a half summits over two days. So it's a lot of content, but we get partners from across the organization that put amazing slides, amazing content together. We answer questions, we give them tips and tricks. Really anything that a new supplier could need to know about KeHE, we're getting it covered within these summits. So very helpful. And then we also record them and we post them on our portal to be referenced at a later time. And when any new suppliers that could be onboarding and maybe in the middle of the 2 summits, we will attach that webinar and all of the materials that go along with it to reference until the next one is getting hosted. We send out monthly supplier newsletters. It's the first Wednesday of each calendar month. So, we'll get content submitted from departments all over the organization that we need to include and make sure we're getting that information out to our supplier and broker community. We have an ebook that we manage and update. It's about 55, 60 slides. There's an interactive table of contents, but we probably get 2,000 hits on this ebook each month. So it's widely used, and suppliers definitely appreciate so much content at their fingertips. And we also send out new supplier check-ins at 3 and 6 months after a supplier is onboarded with us, and just little reminders, letting them know who their contacts are, who to work with, who to ask, specific questions to, most important things, as they're getting ready for their first PO, or as they're just kind of starting to work through KeHE and reach out to our sales team members and just doing different things. So just trying to get as much information in front of our new supplier community as we can. And then something that we just invested in the last 6 months is our Goodness Guru chatbot. So in our supplier portal, there's like a little Goodness Guru in the bottom right. So you can basically ask this little chatbot any questions, and it'll kind of scrape all of our resources and materials. And there's a bunch of documents that are saved behind the scenes, and we'll get the information to you really, really quickly. So moving more into technology, this is the supplier portal that I mentioned. So this is how supplier would, number one, onboard with us is through the portal. Number 2, all promotion submission, new product submissions, it's where they maintain contacts, price change submission, resources and training materials. There's a financial account information tool called KSolve that we're actually going through like a whole reimagining process for what that KSolve tool can look like. But basically anything, through KeHE for supplier is all found through our portal. There's just constant updates and just a ton of great information right at the supplier's fingertips. So part of our technology is our Connect BI program. So it's a suite of robust data services that includes best-in-class sales reporting, business analytics, and data visualization. So we've got 15 essential reports. We have a data exchange, which is basically push reporting for 8 of those reports delivered via email. You can select the report you want and the day and the frequency you want to receive it. And so it'll just land in your email, your inbox, whatever day and frequency you select. We have our analytics dashboard. We have a gap and void dashboard to allow you to discover new opportunities for expansion. And we also released about a year and a half ago an order projections dashboard. So it tells you what future orders that you will probably be receiving up to 13 weeks out. And then we're actually close to launching a new dashboard called Advanced Order Management, which basically allows suppliers to have visibility to what current requests for inventory we have in our system on behalf of a retailer. So whether that could be a promotion, a request for inventory for a promotion, or for a new item that a retailer is launching, suppliers will have visibility to all of that. So this is a supplier's support team at KeHE. So we have a supplier manager assigned to each supplier, and they're a supplier's point of contact for policies and procedures, understanding if there's any questions that go along with that, any profitability improvement, deduction resolution. So that is the supplier's primary contact for any of those types of questions. We expanded this team. We actually combined 3 different departments at KeHE into the new supplier management team about a year and a half ago now. So we've got great feedback on this expansion and just how much more available this team is to our supplier partners. So I'm very excited about that whole department and how they support our supplier community. Category management, I've mentioned quite a bit. They make the selections on what brands and items they carry in their specific categories portfolios. And they also do all the roadmap planning and show and event participation. It's really the supplier's contact for growth at KeHE. Supply chain, they're a supplier's contact for purchase orders and fill rate questions, order optimization, inventory health, AOM ordering. Supplier support, that's like a help desk. There's lots of different departments that would receive a help desk ticket, but the biggest ones being like item maintenance. So if there's a pack change or ingredient change or whatever it has to do with how the product is set up in our system from like a data standpoint, that will be the supplier support team. If there's questions on how to work something in the portal or access something, that all goes to that team as well. We have our promotions team. So they handle a lot of the DC or regional promotion programs that we have. So they develop collateral for, late breaking deals and spotlight and other just different regional selling tools. And then, of course, our sales and account management team. So they'd be able to handle any retailer-specific questions, placement questions, what that retailer's specific promotion requirements are, what the category review schedules would be. So another really important service that KeHE offers our supplier community is what we call roadmap sessions, and they're go-to-market strategic sessions. So typically between May and September, our category management team is having probably about 1,500 roadmap conversations with our existing supplier community to plan for the following calendar year. So, they're talking about goals and channels that they're targeting and regions that they're targeting, any new items that they're launching, and whether they're going to do a retailer launch or launching through new at KeHE, just different promotional and advertising vehicles. They would recommend shows and events that would be KeHE shows and events that would be most effective for that particular brand. So they dedicate a lot of time. It's really important, to them to invest, their time into providing guidance and, which are the best months to promote and at which depth. And it's really, it's significant, especially for our independent channel of retailers, because they really rely on these national promotions and advertising that are discussed during these sessions. And this program, or I'm sorry, this whole process recently moved into our Connect supplier portal as well. It used to be handled outside of it. So we worked on a project for over a year with our IT partners to move this whole process and connect. And it's really streamlined it and made it easier on everyone. So KeHE, obviously we have quite a bit of opportunities for suppliers to participate in our shows. Our summer show and our holiday show are our two large in-person shows that we have each year. Summer show is coming up in February in Denver, so really excited for that show. The holiday show is hosted in June and is always in Chicago. And honestly, the holiday show has always been our biggest show, but the summer show is like right there with it. We have over 900 exhibitors at each of these shows, and so they are. I don't know how much bigger we can get for them to be only 2-day shows, but we do have a virtual component as well. So if a retailer is unable to attend live, we open the show about a week and a half before the 2-day live event, and then we also keep it open for a few days after. So we get a lot of just virtual orders through our Connect retailer show platform for those two shows. We also have a Q1 buying showcase, and we have tabletop shows. We brought back tabletop shows, so those are hosted throughout the year in locations close to our warehouses. All right, well, that is all I had. I'll send this out to you, Christy. There is the link here for our February Trend Finder event. If anyone is interested in applying for that and participating, and then there's also some links to our goodness report and also our social media. But I'm open if there are any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rochelle. This was a lot of amazing information to like think and digest. And so I'm wondering if anyone has, any initial questions and reactions. It looks like Elizabeth that you went off mute, so go for it.
Hi, guys. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I have a question, Rochelle. How do we apply for the February Trend Finder show? What would be the best way to do that?
So, Christy, if it's okay with you, I can send this whole deck out, and then I don't know if you can cascade it to all the attendees here, but
Yeah.
there's a link to this. That middle bullet here is the link, and it's just a form that you fill out about your company and your brand, and then that'll get routed to our category management team.
Okay. It's not clickable though.
Yeah, I'll send out the slides at the end of this week.
Okay.
And that way you guys can have everything. And then we'll have that link.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Carol, looks like you had your hand up.
I did. Hi. Does KeHE sell products that contain alcohol? I just saw that you distribute for Total Wine and More, so I was hoping you do.
Oh, So we don't. We used to for Publix. I don't even know, probably before I started. So we do like all of their we do their snacks and like we do some beverages, but not we're not legally able to sell alcohol.
Okay, even a product that has just 5% alcohol by volume, it's
Um
still considered a confection, but does have the
yeah,
21 plus warning.
you know what? Let me follow up. Christy, if you could send me her name
Yeah,
and maybe I can follow up. I'll ask our beverage category manager what we're able to sell, what up to what percentage.
sounds good. I could get that, Carol. I've got you.
All right, thank you, Christy.
Yeah, no problem.
And thank you.
Bobby Joe.
Hello. So my question is, how many retailers should we be in before we approach KeHE?
I mean, there's not really a requirement. It probably could vary by CM and by category. You know, a lot of the suppliers that we work with might work with before they're working with us, they might have, you know, online business or maybe work with like a regional distributor. So there's not really a requirement for that. So it's kind of hard to say. What category are you in?
I have an allergen-free baking mix, so probably in grocery shelf stable over in the baking department.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't require like an anchor account, you know,
Okay.
for every product that we bring on. You know, we probably 60, so we onboard about 800 new suppliers each year. And I would say 65% of those are CM, which I mean like category manager, like forage or initiated rather than a retailer request. So like Sprouts does request a lot of suppliers be onboarded and so does Kroger. But our CM team really like will work with a supplier on launching through like so we have our new at KeHE program, which is you don't we don't need like a request from a retailer for inventory. Basically, you'll work with your category manager on the right DCs for your products. And it's for independents, right? And like I said, we have 5,500, 6,000 independent accounts that participate in our new at KeHE program. So, you know, basically you can launch in that program. We'll put like a beautiful catalog together and your products that are in KeHE's system. And, you know, we'll order inventory to support that launch month. And that way, like independents who can't bring in a brand new item into a warehouse for like one or two store locations. So they rely on that program. And so you can grow from there. So launch with the independents and then you can work with, you know, expanding into you know mid-sized regional accounts or other chains if that's your approach or your roadmap or go to market plan. So you technically don't have to be in any retail stores, but many of the suppliers that we do work with do have some regional distribution business or could work with Unify already. Obviously KeHE wants to be like first to market though. I mean,
Yeah.
our our sales team they want to bring new things that their retailers haven't seen before.
Perfect. And my second question is, how do you feel about like having a company that's in two different places, like Unify and KeHE? Does that cause a problem for you guys or no?
No,
Okay.
I mean that happens all the time. I mean, honestly, we want to see our supplier partners succeed, and part of that success is you probably have to work with both at some point.
Okay.
So no, I mean that's not a requirement. We are launching another supplier program. It's like how many we have so many, but it is called Premier Collection. But it's for mostly like international and fresh suppliers, and there is going to be like an exclusivity agreement for those suppliers. But like I said, it's more international and fresh. So they will have exclusivity with KeHE. And then, obviously, like Sprouts loves to have their exclusivities for like a short amount of time as well. But yeah, no, that's not something that we ask suppliers for, and we realize that would actually hurt growth by doing that. So we have some suppliers that prefer just to work with KeHE, as well, and that's their decision.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Simran.
Hi, thank you for this. Apologies if this was already answered. I did join a little late. I'm going to be on Sprouts Innovation Set in 2026. So they said they'll reach out to me probably Q1 of 26, and then the whole KeHE onboarding process will start. So could you talk to me a little bit about that? And also, somebody else who is just going to be on their shelves now was also, through the innovation set, was explaining to me that, the onboarding process to KeHE was very difficult for them because was their first anyway, also their first time working with the distributor. There was, the language caused confusion in terms of the way the codes had to be put in on the boxes and how the cases were made. So would there be somebody that we could work with who would be able to kind of almost handhold you through that process? And yeah.
Yeah, so I can talk about a retailer requested process because it's a little bit different than working with a category manager and they're like, yes, like let's start working, I'm going to invite you to onboard with us. So if it's a retailer request, so we have maybe 10 or 12 retailers that are approved to request new suppliers through KeHE, and these are just like very strategic partners. So Sprouts is our largest account that we have. So they are one, and they're on top of innovation, right?
Right.
So yeah, they request new suppliers to get onboarded through KeHE. So they'll work with the KeHE Sprouts account team, and they'll basically say, these are the new suppliers and items that we're bringing in, and whatever future date for whatever future reset date, and it'll go on to like a new item request tracker, and then our category management team will reach out to you, introduce themselves, and they'll basically send you an invitation to start the onboarding process with KeHE. Our onboarding process is digital. Back about 4 years ago, we did all collection of all of the documents, all the legal documents through email, and it was a lot of back and forth. So we moved it to a digital process to streamline some of it. We do have our supplier management team. They're a supplier's point of contact for like any P&P, which stands for policies and procedures. Any questions that you have on any of the documents, they'll be able to help you. They want to help you. They want to make sure that you understand everything about the contract. We are so transparent at KeHE. It's honestly maybe to a fault sometimes. It's actually, we hear that all the time. So we are open and honest, and we'll answer. We know there's legal jargon in there, right? And it's not
Right.
So we want to help. We want to make sure you understand everything so that there are no surprises. We do have like barcode compliance for receiving in our warehouses, and that's I don't, maybe your contact, maybe they were mentioning like the barcode compliance.
Yes.
So we require, our standards are GS1 standards for barcode compliance or G10 compliance. So it is listed in our inbound routing guide, like all of those requirements. But again, your supplier manager can answer questions about that. So yeah, I definitely recommend reading through all of the documents and having a meeting or multiple meetings if you need, with your supplier manager to answer some of those questions just to get clarity on everything.
Okay. Thank you. That was helpful.
And opt into the AAP program because, like I said, I don't know if you were on at that portion of the presentation, but you can do that during your onboarding. And like we've invested over $1 million in AAP suppliers. So
Wow.
make sure you do that as well.
Yeah, that's the part when I just came on, so I don't know what I missed in that topic. But I had heard that is the program that's recommended for a newcomer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Sorry, I thought I was off mute. Jolba.
Hi, hello. Thank you for this opportunity. It's very informative. Thank you. We have a unique functional food that no one has. One, flaxseed butters, pure flaxseed butters. Two, purple caramel barley based Tibetan samba bites, snacks, and the breakfast mix. And we've been in the business for a little over 2 years, and we are based in Portland, Oregon. And I want KeHE to be the first to, carry us, help us to, be success for both of us. We have samba is actually the Dalai Lama's favorite. It's an ancient food that we made so that it's modern, convenient, nutrient dense, and tasty. And the samba bites, actually, we debuted at a fancy food show and was named the top specialty food in functional wellness focused. So, but we're only locally sold at farmers markets, our website, and about 10, 12 stores. And we'll be launching with a couple of regional, hopefully this coming year. We're talking. So we're new. We have something, we believe we could not find a US brand that produces these two categories. I mean, we have quite a few different products because that's what I grew up eating in Tibet, flaxseed butters, some purple barley-based food. So where do we start? How do we connect? How a best way we connect with KeHE?
So I would, when you get the deck from Christy, I would click on the apply for the February Trend Finder event link and submit to the category manager. And it'll get routed and they'll review your submission, and then they'll meet with you it's a 2-week event in February. And that way you can talk about, basically sell your product to them and why you're unique and different and bringing something innovative to the category and something that they've never seen before. And, hopefully, you get a golden ticket and, you're launching with us, shortly after that. So that would be my next steps for you. And, it's a great exposure. Like I said, we do like a social media campaign. We put a deck together, but it does sound like you're smaller and regional. And so, maybe you want to focus, like, if you get accepted and it's the right time and it's a good fit for a partnership, talk to your category manager, like, what should my launch plan be? What do you recommend? Because, maybe there are, specific accounts that they'll, recommend or put you in connection with, or, it's very different for all suppliers, depending on the product and, whether it's new at KeHE launch or if it's a retailer specific, or, maybe there's some, specialty accounts, they will know like what your go-to-market approach should be through KeHE. But I definitely recommend submitting to the Trend Finder event, and meeting with our category manager in February.
Thank you. By the way, I forgot to mention, we are not adding refined sugar. We use dates instead of sugar. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So I have a few questions that are in the chat now. Could you clarify whether KeHE has a weekly minimum case movement or velocity requirement for items once onboarded?
So we don't technically have, for new items, we don't technically have, a minimum case movement. We try to give our new products and our suppliers a full year, just because we know that it can take some time to really get that movement going and to get exposure and to get interest and all of that. So we don't, for a new supplier, new item, we don't technically have that, and we try to give that full year. We do run into issues where sometimes we might have to, do like SKU optimization because we are like max capacity at some of our warehouses, and we literally have no space for products. But that we avoid that if at all possible. The only thing with that is we do have like minimum FOB orders. And I feel like they keep changing it on me. So we do have, I think it's 150 pound orders. I think that might have to be something I circle back with you on, Christy. So, we might have just issues like if there's a single flavor of a product that maybe sold really, really quickly, and maybe two other products aren't selling as quickly, we can't meet an order, for like our minimums for it. So we might ask for like, do like a UPS delivery or something like that, to get products for that single SKU. But typically, suppliers get a full year and we don't do any SKU ops, we don't do anything, so we give them a full year to really to grow and gain that traction and do the promotions and attend shows and get exposure and just do all the things. Like we feel like that's something that we should and that's fair to do for our new supplier community.
All right. The next question. Oh no. Bobby Joe was just wondering where she can get more information about the KeHE Care Trade program.
Well, we do have information on our website. And I have a full deck. I'll also send that to you, Christy. I have a full deck on more information on Elevate, Care Trade, and Diverse Trade. And that'll give you even more information than what our website has. So I'll send that over to you as well.
All right. That sounds good. Oh, yeah, another one. Hold on one second. Oh, Bobby Joe was just saying thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Jolma.
Again, so I just I checked out the KeHE Connect. Is that something in invitation only, or something I create an account and then connect?
Yeah, so when the category manager invites you, you'll receive like a registration link so that you can create your username and password and all of that. But you have to get invited. If you're not an existing supplier, you have to get invited to access.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Pat. Oh, you're on mute, Pat.
I don't have a question anymore.
All good. All right. Well, that took us up to the top of the hour. So thank you so much, Rochelle. This was so much information and you answered so many questions. So we really appreciate your time. Baker Preppers, we have one more meeting tomorrow. And that will be with Ian Kelleher, who's been kind of hanging out in the chat. So make sure that you check your calendar. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, I hope that you have a fantastic afternoon. Thank you again, Rochelle.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.